I know that the host picture is just a small circle in our listings in comparison with our large quality photos and long descriptions. However, it plays a huge role influencing trust toward the host and trust toward the property, which in turn influence guest booking intentions. So I'll briefly outline existing recommendations to host pictures, then share with you some recent research results in this field, including the results of my own experiments, and finally we'll think how to apply this knowledge to our listings. And most importantly, how to pretest these pictures using experimental design. But first of all, some basic and possibly well-known recommendations for selecting the perfect picture. Professional appearance. So it should be a high-quality photo where you are dressed in attire appropriate for the setting. It does not mean formal attire, but rather clean and neat clothing that reflects the vibe of your listing. And the traditional recommendation is to avoid overly casual or sloppy outfits. Friendly smile. A genuine smile can go a long way in establishing a connection with potential guests. So the recommendation is to choose a picture where you are smiling warmly, conveying approachability and hospitality. Next, eye contact. To make sure your eyes are visible and that you are making direct eye contact with the camera. Again, this helps build trust and rapport with viewers, making them feel more comfortable booking your property. Natural setting. It's better to consider taking the picture in a natural setting or within the Airbnb property itself. This adds authenticity and helps guests envision themselves staying in your space. Background in general. So it's necessary to pay attention to the background of the photo. It should be clean, clutter-free, and reflective of the ambience of your listing. The recommendation is to avoid busy backgrounds that may distract from the main focus, from you. Solo shot. While it's great to showcase yourself with others for the main host picture, so it's better to use a solo shot where you are the focal point. This ensures clarity and avoids confusion about who the host is. Consistency. If you are managing multiple properties, consider using the same host picture across all of your listings. This creates consistency and brand recognition and confidence in guests. And finally, there are some recommendations around authenticity. Above all, it's better to choose a picture that authentically represents you and your personality. Guests appreciate genuine hosts, so don't be afraid to let your personality shine through in the photo. It's all true, and we understand that the host picture is the first impression and so on, but let's try to delve into the recent research results, and it's possible that we can find where something valuable for us. So, in terms of theory, we have a concept of lookism. Lookism is a discrimination or bias based on physical appearance, where attractive individuals are favored over less attractive ones, leading to unfair treatment or opportunities based solely on looks. Second, we have an in-group, out-group concept. In-group host pictures feature hosts similar to the target audience, fostering trust and reliability. In contrast, out-group host pictures depict hosts with differences, potentially triggering biases or stereotypes. Understanding these dynamics can inform strategies to promote inclusivity and trust on online accommodation platforms. And I do not intend to overload you with other theories that can be applied to explain the effects of host pictures on guests' attitudes and booking intentions, including social cognitive theory, attribution theory, affective disposition theory, and so on. I can include them in our tools section. Just the results of the recent research on the effects of host pictures. The study, titled The Impact of Host Profile Pictures on Trust and Booking Intentions, an experimental study. This study found that guests were more likely to trust and book accommodations with hosts who had smiling profile pictures compared to those with neutral or negative facial expressions. And additionally, hosts perceived as more attractive received higher ratings for trustworthiness and were more likely to attract bookings. The next study, facial expressions in host profile pictures in Airbnb settings. The research revealed that hosts displaying smiles in their profile pictures were perceived as warmer and more competent by potential guests. And in contrast, hosts with neutral or negative expressions were seen as less approachable and competent, which negatively impacted booking intentions. The next example, the role of host gender in Airbnb booking decisions. This study found that guests exhibited gender bias in their booking decisions based on host profile pictures. Female hosts were perceived as more trustworthy and approachable, leading to higher booking rates compared to male hosts. And this gender bias in booking decisions highlights the importance of addressing implicit biases in online accommodation platforms. The next study, the influence of host ethnicity and diversity in profile pictures. The research demonstrated that host ethnicity and diversity depicted in profile pictures significantly influenced guest trust and booking intentions. Accommodations hosted by individuals from diverse ethnic backgrounds received higher ratings for inclusivity and cultural authenticity, leading to increased booking interest from guests seeking diverse and culturally enriching experiences. I think the final example, effectiveness of professional photography in host profile pictures on Airbnb. This study investigated the impact of professional photography on guests' perceptions and booking intentions on Airbnb, and results indicated that listings with professionally taken host profile pictures received higher ratings for professionalism, quality, trustworthiness, and which led to greater booking demand and increased revenue for hosts investing in professional photography services. And the results of my own experiments. We know that the effectiveness of the host photo is different if this is a man or woman or a couple or a family, but even the dress of the host is important. On this slide, we can see John in business attire and the same John in casual, in yellow t-shirt. What do you think? Which John causes the higher levels of trust toward the host and trust toward the listing itself? I thought the same, but when we conducted this experiment, we found that the casual John was more trustful. And when we asked guests about the reason for this, they explained that they perceived business-dressed John as a property manager that has many properties and will not provide a personalized experience, while casual John was perceived as a host of the apartment, as an owner of the apartment, and caused higher levels of trust. I would like to emphasize again and again that you should not blindly trust all recommendations or the results of these studies. Contexts differ, locations vary, guests have different preferences, and properties are unique. Economic, political, social, and cultural settings today are not the same as they were in the past, as they were yesterday. Therefore, it's crucial to pretest your host pictures on your own listings using experimental design. An experiment is like a test where we change one thing to see how it affects something else. For instance, If you change a host picture on your Airbnb listing and notice that more people want to book your place, this is an experiment. This process helps you evaluate if your marketing, pictures, or descriptions are effective. And by changing just one aspect of our listing, such as host attire, we can observe if that change influences booking rates. For example, we can design a survey using Qualtrics, present different scenarios to randomly assigned groups of guests, and then ask questions about guests' attitudes and booking intentions. And additionally, we can include open-ended questions for guests to explain their attitudes toward the host. Later, I'll demonstrate how to design a survey from scratch and how to utilize the templates in the Tools section to develop scenarios, questions, analyze the data, and so on. Looking at this dashboard, we can see significant differences between guests' attitudes and booking intentions based on different host pictures. In our case, the attitudes of people assigned to the female host scenario were significantly higher than those assigned to the male host scenario. This suggests it might be more beneficial to use the female host picture. However, these effects can vary based on guests' social demographic characteristics, and particularly gender. By splitting our guests by gender, age, income, education, prior experience, purpose of the trip, and so on, we can see that male respondents prefer female hosts, while female respondents have similar booking intentions for both male and female hosts. And this information is important for categorizing your guests and developing specific propositions for your target audience. We have included measurement scales, survey templates, scenarios, and a template dashboard in the Tools section. And I'll further explain how to conduct experiments with your listings in the topic about experimental design. And additionally, there are many opportunities to modify listing attributes to influence guests' attitudes and booking intentions, such as colors, cleanliness information, sustainable labels, humor, host pictures, the presence of plants, artwork on the walls, many other attributes. And I cover some of these opportunities in other topics.